want to like talk about the process that you do with your clients. And, you know, if someone was to come to you today and say, oh my gosh, you know, the world is falling apart for me, where would you start?
Right. So like I said, start with the mindset and acknowledging it and give yourself permission to change. One of the things that happens a lot of times with us as entrepreneurs, we're like, oh, I want things to be different, but then we do not set ourselves up for success. The next step in what I call the M.O.M method is what I take people through. So we start with mindset. Then we go to an operations, a system that we can actually make work for us. Because I see a lot of us carrying around these planners, whether it be digital or physical. We have to-do lists. We have tons of sticky notes everywhere. We have all these things, plus everything rattling around in our head. And we don't know how to plug it in strategically to flow consistently. So that's why it's constantly causing us chaos and exhaustion and frustration, because it's not being plugged into our actual time available to us or mental capacity. So 2 things that I tell people to start with is, 1, you have to start with the actual time you want to work, or you can. So like you set yourself some business hours. Do you want to work 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week? What is it? Because right now you're probably working way more than what you actually intended to when you became an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be able to set my own hours and work just when my kids are in school. You know, I want to work 20 hours to 25 hours a week. That's my intention of being an entrepreneur and not working a 9-to-5 job, not working 40, 50 hours a week. But then I end up working 40 or 50 hours a week plus more because I haven't intentionally set those hours in the day. So start with your hours.
It's so true. But I think our society has always equated working longer means you're productive. Working longer means you're more committed. Working longer means you are dedicated. Working longer means you're diligent, like all of that, right? The reality is that I think there's studies that are out there too that show that actually working longer doesn't mean you're more productive. You're actually wasting more time, and you're taking away time from other things that you could be enjoying life in. You could be sharing your time with your family or other ways that you want to spend that time. And, you know, I love that we can set parameters for ourselves. And that's right. That's what you did with me. You were like, okay, summer's coming up. What days do you want to work? And how many days do you want to work? And how many hours do you want to work? And it was just, I loved that. I loved going through that. And I have been sticking to it, actually. And it's been very productive.
Right, exactly. And once we had that foundation, that like framework, we were then able to fill that framework in a logical and productive formula. Because when we don't have a container to fill, we expand the space. So I know myself, I have seen myself, and I've seen a lot of other entrepreneurs do this. We can take a 15-minute task and make it fit an hour. It's pretty impressive because we are not focused. We don't have that, just like there's not a purpose for it. It's not assigned a time. There's no urgency. We just kind of are like, okay, we got to get this done. And then it just kind of floats into an hour. So we fill this space in the container that we have. And if there's no container, you're not as productive. So after you set your parameters on your time and your week and how much you want to work or you can work, the next step is to then assign also high energy and low energy times of your day. Because we all have that, especially mom entrepreneurs, we waste our caffeine highs on tasks that could be like done with no brainer, with the TV on and with our feet up. So making our days kind of even sorting them out by like, what is my high energy? Where is my low energy? How can I make this, like take my high energy requiring task and put them on my higher energy time of my day, so that I am not feeling like, oh, I guess it's having so hard doing this, especially like writing content, anything that's creative. You want to put that in a high energy time of your day.
I agree with you. So once we figured out what time is high energy and low energy, what do we do after that?
Then you do a giant brain dump. So you put everything down that you think you need to do. And I'd say that very, very sweetly, like, what do you think you need to do? Because we're going to go through this list and decide whether or not you really need to do this. Because a lot of times we have things on our list with, like you said at the beginning, with these dates that we have assigned that create this crazy amount of pressure. And maybe it's just something that you really don't need to do, or you can wait. I have 3 categories that I sort things into. I say do now, do later, and do never.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny. People are like, you have a do never list? What the heck is that? That is really a list of things that are great ideas and even good strategies, but it's not the appropriate time to have them. I don't even want to think about doing them later. It's not in my strategy for next quarter, not even maybe in my next year, but I still want it. My brain wants to think about it. So I put it on that list so that it allows it to kind of like process through and it lives there. So someday I might go to that do never list and pull it off of it. But I am giving myself permission to say, I don't have to do this. And this comes up a lot, especially with online creatives, people who are using social media strategies. We have this pressure on us to like be on it all the time and constantly like playing with the new toys that are coming out. Like I feel the pressure. And there's a lot of times as an entrepreneur, we just need to look at everything we're putting on our plate and saying, do I have to show up everywhere all the time? Do I have to put these deadlines on myself? Can I move it to be more spread out? I give myself more space to breathe. And when we start to do that, our brain relaxes and we can actually accomplish more.
I think I like your 3 categories of now, later, never. And I sometimes call the never a parking lot of ideas.
Yes, exactly. I agree
it's
with
just
that.
kind of hanging out there. And one day I might get to it. One day I may never get to it, but it's there. And you don't want to like forget about it because it is a great idea.
Yeah.
But at the same
absolutely.
time, it just may not be great for the season that you're in right now. And I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely. And the thing about this system that I love, especially when you lay it out on something like Trello, if you use a Trello, Asana, you can use a physical planner. It doesn't really matter what you use. The point is, if you're able to come back and look at it, you can then reflect. So that's what I'm doing this right now in this season. I'm going into school starting and I'm reflecting on, okay, summer is a different kind of schedule. So I'm also going back to what I did in the spring. Okay, how did I find success there? What was helpful? How can I improve on that? What do I need to take off the list? Or like, where do I need to give myself more time, more focus? And maybe I wasn't giving myself enough expansion and I was always kind of flowing over that time that I was giving myself because it wasn't enough. So I have now some baselines that I can go back to for seasons. And this is where I'm encouraging moms to like save your summer schedule from this summer so that when next summer comes, you can come back and say, oh, wow, okay,
what a great idea.
This worked. This didn't work. I loved it when this was happening. I did not love this. And we can then build off of that because we're still the same person, but we're in a new season and we can learn from this journey.
I cannot agree with you more. I mean, for me, it was super effective. Just an application for everybody that's like wondering, how does this apply? So over the summer, I knew that, Mondays in general are days where I want to look forward to after the weekend. I do not want to have a Monday where I'm stressing about it. I've had enough Mondays where I never look forward to it. And like with my own business, I don't want that to happen. And so now my Mondays are super relaxed in the way where I might have team meetings or I have, getting client work done, but I don't have any like major deadlines happening on Monday. And that's been such a lifesaver for me. Tuesdays is actually one of those days where I want to take off or minimal work is happening. And so that's what we did because of, just the way my family dynamic is set up with my husband's time at work and whatnot. So Tuesdays is a great day for us to hang out and spend some time together. Wednesdays are my recording days. So whether I'm recording or whether I am getting on a client call or whether I am connecting with other, industry people or just making connections, networking, that's a Wednesday for me. Thursdays is client work, getting all that stuff done. And then Fridays is usually my errand day, self-love day, pour over day also if I have anything to pour over.
Yeah.
So that's what I've kind of like batched it up into, and it's actually working. And it's kind of something I will probably take this into school year as well, but maybe add on a little extra on my Tuesdays just to kind of like balance out some of the work. But it's been working for me and it's been very nice because I'm like, okay, I know Wednesdays I'm recording. I don't need to be worried about figuring it out on another day unless someone just can't make it on a Wednesday. Then, I'm open to like being flexible, and flexibility is everything, guys. Don't be like militant what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Give yourself permission to change. But your method, Just that one conversation was so life-changing for me at that time. And I needed it because I was definitely in a season of overwhelm and overwhelm where it was debilitating. And that's not okay. It's just not okay. It's not normal, guys. So don't make it normal. Let's not normalize that. Let's normalize being productive in a time frame that works for you, especially if you have your own business. That's why you started your own business. If someone wanted to reach out to you and say, hey, Lonnie, let's connect, how can we connect with you?
So if you want to just jump on a call and chat and talk about what it would look like to work together, you can go to LonnieJackson.com/let's talk. Like that's as easy. It'll take you to a calendar. You can book a call.
I'm just so thankful that you came on today and shared all of this information and wisdom with us. And we were able to talk about it and kind of give a sneak peek into like the way I also function. And it was super helpful and it was really life-changing. If anybody has more questions, guys, DM us, leave a comment,
Yes,
to our
absolutely.
website, connect, because honestly, this is all about working together and lifting the community and really helping our mental health and calm the mental health also.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lonnie.
I love it. So thank you for having me. And again, send me a DM. You can reach out to me on Instagram or on Facebook. That's where I hang out the most. And so I love to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lonnie.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me and appreciate you so much. Love working with you, Gyoja.